Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 ways you can finally move into the true personal growth I wish I knew about when I first started my intentional personal growth journey. As somebody who now has over 2 years of deep study in personal development, this is how I'm going to be changing my life. So this is the video I wish I had when I was probably in your position. Becoming authentic and who you truly want to be. This has 3 points. Having clarity, simplicity, and grace. If you struggle with something like setting boundaries, saying no, acting the way you would ideally, or speaking your mind, then you might think the answer is to just say no more and set boundaries. But that's like wanting to get rid of a weed, so you cut off the top. You gotta uproot it. And this means you have to get clarity. Having a values refresher for 2 to 3 minutes. Each day, refresh in your mind who you want to be. And this involves appearance, skills, qualities, how you would act towards other people and yourself. Write those things down in a journal and look at it each morning. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes. I used to have a reminder at least 3 times a day when I would think about who I want to be. I would title this Prime Daniel. I had a very vivid image in my mind, how I would treat other people, how I would journal, how I would do these videos, all that kind of stuff. But I kind of stopped doing that for a while, and it actually helped me quite a lot. When you do this, you also recognize what you value most, and also what you feel like you might need from other people. It's a pretty interesting little contrast. It's like, and having this to your bedside is a great way to have a clear trajectory to where you want to go. Declutter your mind. It is much harder to remove the root if there are stones in the way. So take time to journal also quietly with these 2 prompts. What is causing me stress or confusion right now? And the second prompt has 2 columns or different ways you can look at it, and that is, what is one small thing I can do to simplify or resolve it? Or, is this true? You can interrogate the thought. It is your thought, you decide how you look at it. And coupled with decluttering your mind, decluttering the physical surroundings is important too. Physical and mental clutter distract from feeling authentic. Clearing a small space each day creates a sense of order and peace. The golden egg rule. Each morning or the night before, write down one thing that you want to prioritize and let that guide your decisions for the day. For me, this can look like 4 hours of deep work. Self-compassion. When you make a mistake or you feel inadequate, pause and tell yourself, I'm allowed to be imperfect. I can make mistakes. Having mercy on yourself is super important and actually allows you to get to where you want to be, because you can't get to who you want to be if you are always judging yourself for where you currently are. I used to struggle with this a lot. I used to cry whenever I'd get a times table wrong when I was doing multiplication. And taking time to recognize that those thoughts are not helpful helped me a lot. Celebrate the smaller wins. Each day or week, write down a few things or one thing that you did well. And I'm personally learning to celebrate effort, not just the wins and the things that I actually succeeded, because recognizing progress encourages perseverance. And perseverance, I love the definition, I learned it from the Bible. Perseverance is doing something and persisting in something despite difficulty. So this here is a chart with examples of how you can implement these things into your life. It's one small step at a time. It's not one big thing that you introduce all of these at once. On to the next point. Leap of faith. A leap of faith.
It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles.
Each week, take one risk. And you do this by, at the start of a week, picking from a list of risks that you have written down, and then just doing one of those. And by risk, I basically just mean stuff you're unfamiliar with and uncomfortable with. This is simply growing you into who you want to be authentically, as well as growing you in every other way too. So, I have personally chosen content creation as my venue, and this is what that could look like. Sending an email to brands or products for a brand deal, asking strangers to view my content and get feedback from them. But for you, this might not apply. So here are some things you can do in your personal life. Applying for a job or a school or somewhere you would like to do or try, but you don't have the credentials. Just send them an application, or just something of the sort. Going to an event or something like an improv class, volunteering involving something you're considering to see if you want to go deeper into that or not, learning a new skill, buy that thing you want, ask someone out on a date, and just to know for that last one, if you are actually interested in getting that off your chest as well, I would say just be honest, communicate what you need to, actually have fun with it, don't worry about impressing anybody, just have fun, get to know them, And if you decide that you aren't interested after giving them a chance, just let them know you're not looking for anything. Don't make it a big thing in your mind. It's one risk. And you don't have to find the one after a single encounter. And I'm just adding on to that because we should not play with other people's lives and the way that they feel, you know? If that's in your books, don't be afraid to give yourself and other people a chance. And the way I'm going to stay consistent with this is at the start of each week, I'm going to write down on a little box with a prompt above it with a list as to what am I going to be doing this week? What is the risk? These are not life or death things. It's just stuff we're unfamiliar with. And that would grow us into being who we want to be authentically and how we want to be in every other way. So just taking one risk a week could change your life. I don't know, I'm going to be doing it and I'll be showing you it. So 2 of 3 points down. It's physical health. The health triangle, health pyramid. Sounds so simple, but I decided to go deeper into this and give you practical examples, being consistent, enjoying it, and actually doing this for the long term, not a 2-month burst and you hurt yourself or you give up. Because when I was 11 or so, I watched a video by Kurt Zagast or whatever it's called, the microbiome of your gut, and how as you eat more healthy food, you want more healthy food. So I started having a smoothie each day as often as I could. My mum did not like how expensive I was being. But now I don't enjoy fast food at all, really. As a matter of fact, I only have gluten, dairy, and sugar, mostly because of my skin. I'm still at the point, unfortunately, where this is a vulnerable state. But of course, as I get older, I'll introduce these different things in a healthier way, because limiting yourself is not the same as being healthy. So the way I'm actually going to structure my week with food is I'm going to have a pre-workout meal. This could be something like one of these things on the list. I don't have the list in front of me right now, so I'm not going to bother reading it out. Then I'm going to do a stretch, workout, run. I might do the run later in the day. It'll just be trial and error. And then I'll have breakfast. Each day I have oats with like banana, blueberry, but I could add things like nuts, chia seeds, and LSA. It's just like ground up nuts, which is actually really good for you. So that should hopefully give me a bit more energy throughout the day, because if you don't have the right amount of food in you and the calories, then you just waste away with energy. If you really want to track your protein, this is the formula for that. You just got to do how much protein? 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. That is nuts. So that's just 1.6 times your body weight, or 2.2 times your body weight, and then try aim for around those numbers each day. But that's if you're working out as well, and that is what the recommended amount is to build muscle. For me, because I'm like 64 kgs, that would be 102.4 to 140.8 grams of protein a day. So on screen, I'll show things I could eat for pre-workout, breakfast, lunch, dinner, with my workout scheduled in as well. Of course, I look like a featherweight with cord on the sides, so I'm just gonna cord on this. What does that even mean? So that is a really quick example of my weekly meals catered to my dietary needs right now. And through that, we now have the workout, the physical, like that, you know. So I'll just say exercising is supposed to get you healthy. I do running each day after work. I show up for a workout and a stretch every single day. And I have bad ankles, bad hips, bad wrists because I fell off a roof a while ago low-key. And working out and exercising should get you healthy. It shouldn't be something that puts strain on your joints and is a really hard tug, and it doesn't actually bring you any real longevity. So, I'm just kidding. Get in here. What do you need? So unfortunately, realistically, I would like to do something like 100 pull-ups a day, but my arms are straws because my wrists are bung. Because we only live once, we should preserve our body. So I'm going to be doing stretches before each workout and doing things that I need based on my needs. Like if you have wrist pain and ankle pain, just search out how to fix those things. And then targeting particular muscle groups with correct technique to prevent injury. And you can just search up these things. I'll probably have stuff in the description about it. And for cardio and running, yes, the snacks just spawned in. The goal is to show up. Of course, once you show up, you can have a goal like to go a certain distance or to run for a certain time. But having this goal of just showing up and actually doing it can give you a much more clear confidence in actually ticking the box that you did go to do the thing. But of course, gauge it to where you are at personally. using that idea of showing up, doing the smallest action is how you beat procrastination. I have found this so helpful throughout my life. It's the same thing, like every single night I slide my mat out, which I do my stretches on and work out on, because that will make it far easier for me to actually get to the position of showing up. Having that little friction of sliding out the mat is psychologically, it's actually a huge burden to actually get you to where you want to be. So making it as easy as possible is the way to go. So my plan is to make sure I have pre-workout to ensure I have energy for the workout. Then I'll do some stretches and some things to ensure my ligaments remain strong and I can actually continue to do this for a longer term. Then I will work out following a plan something like this, and then I will do a run something like this kind of distance, and with the thoughts in mind, like I am the kind of person that runs. Because if you link it to your identity and who you are, being authentically yourself, then you actually want to keep doing it because you believe that about yourself. It's not, I want to try working out. I want to try start doing these things. It's who you are. I run. I work out. That's who you are. So of course there's diet, there's workouts, but there's rest as well. And of course, if you're doing all these things and you're trying to have all these burdens in your mind just from life, just from all the stuff you're trying to apply as well, or thinking about how you can do all this stuff, don't do it all at once, please, then you need mental recovery. Of course, the physical I'll get to, but the mental recovery is so important. I used to fight the idea of rest a lot, but with time, I've learned that it's so important to ensure that you give yourself space to breathe. Because if you're constantly trying to grind and stay in the water, but you never take time out of it to breathe and rest, then you're just going to drown. So take time to rest. So here are some examples of having mental recovery and rest. This could be something like mindfulness or meditation for 5 to 10 minutes. And by meditation, it's simply just thinking about your thoughts or just praying. Deep breathing exercises, unplugging from devices and taking a break for a set time. Engaging in creative outlets. For me, that's this, but I honestly find getting in front of a camera quite scary because my family was here most of me filming this video. So my natural thoughts go, oh, but they're judging me, what will they think? They're gonna come in here and tell me to be quiet. But that's when we decide if we're gonna stay aligned to what we want to be, who we want to be, what we want to do. This could also look like writing or playing music. You don't have to do something, you can simply just be. We're human beings, not human doings. My mum said that, love her, she's awesome. And of course, sleep. Your mind needs so much time to recharge. For the physical, eating, drinking. Eat some stuff that nourishes you and you actually enjoy. Do some stretches just to get the body kind of loosened up and your muscles fine in a good way. Having regular walks or light physical activity, that stuff helps you a lot. And of course, having rest days. I don't like the idea of them, but as I get more into doing these things that we've just been talking about, I will definitely need rest days. So that will be scheduled in, and I will try follow those, but I'll do it in a way that I actually enjoy. If it's enjoyable, it's long-term, preservable. But again, this is a note from past me to me now. Start small. Don't overwhelm myself. Be flexible. Consistency, not perfection. Listen to my body. Rest when I need, and when ready, push myself. So this could even mean just starting with stretches for a while. Just getting in the habit of doing that so you have a foundation to build on. And then it's actually stable instead of like, And of course, I'll stay consistent by noting down what I actually do so that with time I can see my progress. And there, of course, are apps for this. I did try find some. I might have some by the time I post this video, can't promise anything. But as I find them with time, I'll probably add them to this video description. And if you're Christian, you might wonder where the Christian part of this video actually comes into play. So here's how we make sure we do these things aligned to God's will for our personal lives. Because what happens when we try to do things on our own, rather than in line with God's will and God's plan to build us up? It says in Proverbs 16 verse 9, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. In Psalms 27 verse 1, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. I believe we shouldn't bother building the house unless it's a dwelling, a temple for the Holy Spirit. And of course that might sound short-sighted, of course there's value in things, but why wouldn't we do it unto God? Why wouldn't we do it as a form of worship to Him, like it says in Colossians 3 verse 23 to 24? Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. Doing this out of a love and reverence and excitement is far better than any other way. I've found this a difficult challenge for me because lately I have been led to actually take control of my life in a more stern way. And what I mean by this is I let God lead everything. Like, I'll be writing out what I will be including in a video like this, and I will ask God, like, oh, should I use a red pen or a black pen? What color should I, what word should I use for this thing? And they both mean the exact same thing, but different words. And last night, I was awake since about 5:30, and I felt to read Proverbs 12. I didn't know what it said. So I looked at Proverbs 12, and this was something that came and stuck out to me a lot. The plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful. And when I first read that, and I felt to read it over and over, I just went, God, do you see me as righteous? I'm not better than anyone else, but I just feel God calling me to actually choose what I do. And of course, what I choose to do is to try to do everything unto the Lord, including these other three things we talk about, as worship unto Him, to glorify Him, and to bring Him closer to the people, and bring the people closer to Him that need to get closer to Him. Maybe that's you. It's probably me as well. Like we were saying earlier in Proverbs 16 verse 9, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. And Psalms 20, is that 127? Oh, it is 127. I'll have that on screen. Verse 1 says, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. If we don't listen to God and we let Him guide our steps, these things are idols. Our lifestyle is an idol. We idolize it and we see, I want the aesthetic computer. I want all my stuff looking beautiful. I want it looking great. And that's just idolizing it. That is no good. So, just a note from Editing Daniel here. Idolizing means to love something excessively or greatly. So just keep that in mind. We can't love things too excessively, because even though that's what everybody does. Choosing to let God be the center of the temple, choosing to let God be the center of our decisions and the way we do things, of the risks we take, of our health, of all of these things that we actually want to move towards, that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. That is letting Him be the bridegroom to us, the bride. I did not plan an outro really, but I will be doing a video every single day documenting me doing these things. Taking risks, trying to let God lead it all, in my health and stuff too, which I've had plenty of problems with, and trying to embody who I actually want to be. And whether you're interested or not in that, completely up to you. I'm just doing this for my own consistency and my enjoyment, and I'm doing it as worship to God, to hopefully share the gospel to some people and glorifying God in work, which a lot of people idolize. So I can hopefully set the example. And if you want to join in on this challenge, seriously, send me a message, just comment. I could even set up a chat or a big community so that we can actually discuss how we are improving, what things we've learned, how we can improve each other's journey as well, and actually just building into each other. If you're interested in that, follow along, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you find some value. Bye-bye.